Unified Championship Radio. Oh, yes! It is another edition of Ringside Rumble Radio here on the UCR Network, powered by Spreaker.com, good old Spreaker, and free on iTunes. I am the Loganator, alongside my good friend, the Ant-Man Anthony Rivera. And this is Ringside Rumble Radio. Make sure to like us on Facebook, facebook.com/UCR Network. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at UCR Network. And if you want to tweet to us, make sure to use the hashtags UCR Network or RRR.
I just let you go off there. Good job, my friend.
Thank you.
Good intro.
How you been?
I'm doing just well, my friend. Just well, because we are on the fast lane to WrestleMania with Fastlane this weekend.
Are you even really excited about this pay-per-view?
Man, I just want to see. I just want to see what's going to happen, what we're heading into for WrestleMania already. I feel like there's no storylines at all that are set in stone for WrestleMania this year.
It's kind of just everything's kind of spur of the moment type of deal. They see what's going to stick. They're kind of throwing it against the wall, and if it sticks, they're going to keep it. If not, they're like, oh, well, we still got time. Let's throw these two guys together and see what happens.
You can go, and especially with the main event, you can go any way. I was talking about this at work today. I mean, what if... I think what's best for business is if we get Triple H and Brock Lesnar for the title, and Roman Reigns versus Dean Ambrose.
I would agree a little bit about that.
That's what I think is best for business. I don't think there's nothing that's good that's going to come out for Roman Reigns out of this. He wins and people are going to be unsatisfied. He loses and they kind of crush any hopes of him being the star that they wanted.
Well, he's not going to be the star. In the fans' eyes, at least. I mean, maybe in Vince McMahon's eyes, he's the star, and they're going to still cram him down our throats. But if you saw Raw, you could see the fans are getting a little uneasy. You see that even on Twitter, people are getting frustrated. On the internet, nobody wants to see Roman Reigns.
But you know what? I'm starting to get a little frustrated. And you know who I'm getting a little frustrated with?
Who's that?
The fans.
Why is that?
What do they want? Who is it that they want to be on top? They really haven't specified. You know how, like, when Daniel Bryan, we knew that the fans wanted Daniel Bryan to be at the top. Who do you want? No one's there.
Well, if you watched Raw on Monday night, you saw a good friend, Dean Ambrose, lose his title, his Intercontinental title, to Kevin Owens. And then he came out to help Roman Reigns. And then he grabbed him and he was about to do the whole dirty deeds on him and kind of laughed and pointed to WrestleMania. So the crowd went a little crazy when that happened. I was like, whoa, this might actually happen. We're going to see a heel turn. But it didn't happen. But the fact that he dropped his Intercontinental title...
it adds intrigue, definitely.
It does add intrigue because you start to wonder, is he the one who's going to get pushed? Because, I mean, the fans are behind Dean Ambrose.
But do you buy it? Do you buy that being best for business for WrestleMania, for this WrestleMania? A Triple H versus Dean Ambrose for the World Heavyweight title. Now, you know what? After what I saw at the Royal Rumble and how the fans reacted to them being the last two men in it, and then they wanted to see Dean Ambrose win, I could see that match happening at WrestleMania, which tells me one thing. It will not be the main event.
No. I mean, it would be great because it wouldn't be predictable. And we all know that the WWE likes to try and be predictable from time to time. We've seen it on more than one occasion. I'll give you one example. Royal Rumble matches. Not this year, but the past 2-3 years, I'd say, is kind of predictable. When you had Batista win that one year, then you had Roman Reigns win the next year. You're kind of like, why am I even watching it? Why am I bothering to watch this?
This Royal Rumble was also predictable, but different for some reason.
Oh, yeah, it was different. But
I mean, because we all knew that Triple H would come back and win. And I was buying it more and more. The more Triple H was off TV, I knew he was going to come back and win the championship. But we just didn't know. I mean, was it really going to happen? We didn't know until he came out that he was going to definitely win. But, like, you could have gone so many ways with this one.
yeah.
Because so many people are hurt. So many people are out right now. And the WWE is basically clenching for something.
And that's why I think doing this might actually take a jolt into the arm of the WWE and make it actually enjoyable to watch. I mean, I still watch it. I find it enjoyable, but not as predictable, I guess I would say. Because we all know that they want Roman Reigns to be their poster boy. We've seen it time and time. But the fans don't like it. And we're in this stage of wrestling where it's what the fans want. Not anymore what, oh, well, this is what happened, so we're going to push it. But the only downfall with this whole internet age is you can go online and you can find everything out in an instant. You can find out results. You can find out backstage news. You can find out who is at the pay-per-view right now. We just saw, like, for example, we knew Sting was coming in. We didn't know when, but we knew he was coming to the WWE. Back when we had Y2J, we didn't really know that he was coming. It was hinted back then. That was like internet was there, but it wasn't that big yet. But nobody really knew who this countdown was for.
Yeah, the internet has definitely hurt special surprises and a whole lot of wrestlers coming in. But I do think WWE is coming in with the times now because, as you noticed, when they announced on the internet that AJ Styles and Nakamura and Gallows and Anderson were coming,
Mm-hmm.
Triple H, the next day, had came out with a video with Michael Cole talking about it, about what the possibilities were.
Well, you have to because it's just a missed opportunity. The only good thing they did, though, as I was reading reports, because I had an interview, I think he was on Y2J's podcast, AJ Styles, and he talked about how the day of the Rumble, nobody knew he was going to debut. He had to sneak in. He had to hide in the backseat of the car on the floor. He was snuck into the building, and I think he was in like a separate area. Nobody knew he was there.
They did the same thing with Sting.
Mm-hmm. And then 10 minutes before he goes on, he's just waiting to go behind the curtain. Which it has to be done, but unfortunately, with Twitter and Facebook and all these dirt sheets, it hurts the business a little bit, but you would think maybe they would go above and beyond to overcome all this.
It hurts the business, but it also pushes them because now fans are starting to revolt and react more to these things, and they want to see more. Why do you think Daniel Bryan got so big? It was due mostly through the internet. We didn't get Ring of Honor on TV.
No, we
didn't get a lot of those independent organizations on TV. New Japan Pro Wrestling we didn't have over here.
No.
Until as of late.
Yeah,
so
but that's all
Daniel
repeats.
Bryan made a name for himself being this independent wrestler, and I guess the internet fan base made his aura, his personality, his character grow to the point where he came in here and everyone was like, why is he on NXT? Why is he with The Miz? And they made it into a storyline.
That makes sense.
So it works in some ways. It doesn't work in other ways. Getting back to what happened on Raw this week, also we saw the Dudley Boys beat down on Roman Reigns.
Yeah, and that was actually entertaining. I enjoyed watching that. You had Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns cut this promo. They ended with shaking each other's hands and talking about see you Sunday at Fastlane and going on how he was going to go to WrestleMania. And then Paul Heyman talks about his client and Brock Lesnar going to beat and win on Sunday. So, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, Dudley Boys making their statement. They decide to beat down Roman Reigns. And, well, they're Paul Heyman guys. They've always been Paul Heyman guys. So they backed up their boy. And it's just refreshing to watch the Dudley Boys, as we talked about last week, playing like that bully role that you don't see that often anymore because everybody's all like happy-go-lucky, not really. Like you have the New Day who's supposed to be a heel, but they're really not a heel. They're just making fun. But it's good to see guys that actually use their muscle and are continuing to beat down, because they even made a statement. They're like, oh, well, we were here 10 years. We've been around for 10 years, and what do you think? We're going to be coming in and just doing and being friends with the Usos. It was a great promo.
This is all good for fans that are not used to the Dudley Boys. I mean, fans like us, are we really going to boo the Dudley Boys since we've known them for so long? And is it did they pick the right person to beat up? Because you're going to boo Roman Reigns no matter what. So to beat down on him, you're going to get cheered even more. So they should have picked someone else maybe to beat down. Maybe a Ziggler. Maybe a Dean Ambrose.
Maybe an AJ Styles.
Maybe a AJ Styles. Maybe come in and beat up Brock Lesnar or something. That's a way to get more fans angry. But to beat down on Roman Reigns, I mean, anyone. I could beat down on Roman Reigns and I'll get cheered for it. I can't beat Roman Reigns, but I'm just saying, if I could, I'd probably be cheered for it.
You get a nice pop if you did that.
A nice little pop.
And then they make a T-shirt for you.
Make a T-shirt. And there you go.
And then there starts your WWE career as a superstar. Not a wrestler, but a superstar.
Yeah. You mentioned beating down AJ Styles. AJ Styles and The Miz had a little match, and of course AJ Styles is on a roll, gets the victory. But are we possibly seeing a heel turn from Y2J?
I mean, he can go either way when it comes to playing the heel or the face, because he comes in, he's here for a few months, does his thing, yet people still get behind him.
I mean yeah, is he possibly the most adaptable wrestler when it comes to characters?
As in what, heel or face?
He can make you love him, he can make you hate him, and he can change the whole persona of his character. When he first started off as the Y2J rocker with the long hair, he turned heel, comes back as a face, turns heel again as this little suit wearing, kind of corporate style Jericho. I mean, he's able to adapt. Maybe one of the only characters that's able to change his character. He could do it on a daily basis if he wanted to. Yeah.
But he has nothing to prove right now. I mean, he's only a part-time wrestler. He's basically there to put over the new talent or whoever that he's going up against. But he can still put on a good show. Another wrestler that comes to mind that does that is The Big Show. And he was on Stone Cold's podcast right after Raw the other night, and he even said when people were... Stone Cold made a joke to him. He's like, oh, do you get upset when people say you're too old and you should retire? He's like, I'm just having fun. He's like, I can play a heel, I can play a face. I'm just here to put over the younger guys. So that's what Chris Jericho's really doing as well. He doesn't really need to come back. He's a rock star. He has his own podcast. I think he had a TV show for a while as well, like a YouTube channel. So it's not necessary, but when he comes back, he can still move around the ring and still put on a great show for everybody. And even when he comes back, you're excited to see him, which, I don't know. I get excited when I see Y2J come like from the Rumble and all that. I don't know if you feel the same way, but when he came, it's Y2J, man. I remember growing up with him in the WCW days when he stood there with that list with Dean Malenko and just reading off all the holds when he debuted, and Howard Finkel was his little like puppy guy coming and following him around.
You mean Festus? That wasn't Howard Finkel. He looked like Howard Finkel. Howard Finkel was never in WCW.
No. Howard Finkel when he came to WWF the first time.
When
Y2J came, and Howard Finkel was like his little go-to boy, a little lapdog. He would, and then I remember him and Ken Shamrock